Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm doing a test this time on a 2001 Mazda Miata SE. This is a 1.8 liter engine. Customer concern, it says no fuel pump activation. This is a fully capable computer to be connected to a scanner. I requested some information from them, but they said that the fuel pump cannot be activated, and then to check the computer, um, to see how is everything working. As you can see, fuel pump, I'm sorry, 5-volt reference is on, so that is a good sign. The way I have it connected, yeah, so let me go in order. This computer it has three connectors. It looks like a one piece connector, but it's actually three connectors: connector 2, connector 3, and connector 4. Uh, the connectors I'm going to show you in a second on the screen. For my testing, I don't need everything to be plugged in. I do have 4AF and 4AG powers, grounds on 3B and 4A. These 3A and 3B are shared internally. Communication is in the 3Q. I will show you what is 3Q in a second. And it goes to pin 7 in the DLC, that's K-line. Fuel pump activation to the relay, it goes into 2M, 5-volt reference, 4L, and sensor ground on 4O. So what I have in 4O and 4L are these two wires in here. It goes over to my multimeter. Like that I can see the 5-volt reference. And that's when, as soon as I turn the ignition on, let me get my glasses off. This is for a shop in Chantilly. I don't think, oh yeah, Carbone. Yeah, let me just put this right here. So this is the shop, Carbone Auto Repair Center in Chantilly, Virginia. So this is a business, so not a problem to show their information. And that is the part number on the computer that I'm working on. All right, so let me just show you. I have done extensive homework, and sometimes people don't understand why is a fee for testing. It's not that I have a vehicle to connect every single computer you send to me. So I have to, you know, do my homework, make sure that I got the correct powers, the correct grounds, communication to perform the tests. I need also your help at your end to tell me as much information as possible on what your concerns, your problems are, so I can try to reproduce them in here. So yes, I go over first and find OEM data. This is a 2001 computer, so I have to check all this. This computer has immobilizer, so I cannot have the computer running fully without the entire immobilizer system and key and everything, right? So, and I don't have that here, but I can check, make sure the computer is clean. And this computer looks like brand new. No capacitors leaking, no water damage, nothing. Everything is like pristine. But so the way this works, I have again a diagram that I pull from Identifix to see if the fuel pump is indeed controlled by the computer. So this is again the fuel pump relay right here. Let me get something to point to. Right here is the fuel pump relay. I don't really care much about the way the relay is there. All I know is that this in here is the fuel pump right at the bottom, and I can see that this is a ground, so the relay is providing power that comes from here, the contactor, and the control side has a power from main relay, and then the activation coming from the computer on pin 2M. All right, so that confirms that the information I have is correct. I went also and got, this is actually not really that good, so let me disregard that one. Um, Kudos to Pro Demand, Snap-on. It was very good information. I could not find the pinouts or connector pinouts on Identifix with, I mean, believe me, I did the search and search and search, and it was very easy to find it in Pro Demand with the component testing, and I again check. The only thing I don't like is, well, I'm not sure if it is, well, yeah, it is a 3. It says 3, 4, and 5, and instead of no 3, it's actually 2, 2, 3, 4. But the pinout matches, so I have a connector. If you see here, connector 2, like that, it will be 2A, 2B, 2C, and etc. And then 3AB, etc. and 4AB, etc. Right? Connector 2 is a 17 pin. Connector 3 is a 24 pin, and connector 4 is a 31 pin, and I check that with the computer. It matches good. So 2M, if I go here, it says field point control. So that is perfect. It matches what I need. So I have also the mill and 2R going into the 24 pin connector 3. Again, disregard that 4 in the image because it's wrong. But then like that, I know where I can plug my wires, right? So I now know that this is, again, disregarding number 3. I know that M is the very, not the last one, the very before the last one. So if you see here, I got that that green wire connected to the pin before the last one on the first connector, and then that goes over to this test light, which I'm also supplying power. So I got the power complete through my universal test platform box, and then the activation should come from the computer. Again, grounds are in 3B and 3A. So again, I got a ground in here, and then I got a ground in the connector 4, and so on, powers and grounds and everything as I uh, show here. Again, I'm going to show slowly how the connector looks like that. If you have a vehicle and you're doing this test, you know where to check. This is like the exact match as in the computer. So this is like you, sorry, like in the computer, like you back probing the connector or piercing the wire before. Some people don't like to pierce. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that you have electrical liquid tape. Let me look for it now so I can show you what I'm talking about. Let me just see. Electrical. I'm doing that with one hand. So bear with me 1 second. So yeah, you have, let me see if Amazon has it. I don't see it in Amazon, but that is the same thing. So this is a very, very good one. It comes with a brush. They have black and a green color. I actually like the green one better. The reason I like the green one better is a little less thick. So it's easy to apply. This is a good company and good brand. As you can see, it's not that expensive, but yeah, this is waterproof. So this will do that any piercing you do, it will just be sealed again. So nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, you will be piercing with something as small as that, injecting the line in there, and you can do your probes, your tests. So again, nothing wrong with that. Okay, going back into the diagrams, again, this is connector 3, the way it looks. I'm going down slowly so you can guys and all see that, and that will be connector 4 that has more pins. There's a 31 pin as it says in here, and that is completely correct except for the number on the top, but all wires matches 100%. All right, so I also went over to Identifix because in Identifix the computer is not marked. It has all the correct pinouts as 4A and so on, but it doesn't tell you anything. So it's a little hard to find those without, being at least powers and grounds and so on, right? But I double check and everything shows and is correct. So I selected the wires that I needed to see and deselect the entire rest of the wires so we can only see what I need to check and make sure that they were over to powers or sensors or what I'm doing the test for. Make sure my grounds are there and etc. Right? The OEM connector diagram again. This is a 2001, so it's a little oldie, right? They're good, not colored, but they're really good. You can see also the connectors in here, and that is another really good way to find out if everything that you have is correct and it matches, because in this one you have the colors of the wires, and I again double check all that information, everything it is correct, because when you don't have the vehicle, I have to be extra careful without having the connectors, the original connections. I can, if I don't connect this correctly, I can burn a computer, and I don't want to do that, right? So I take extra time to do that. I can see that we have going into the data link connector. Let me zoom in a little more in here so we can see what I'm talking, or you guys can see what I'm talking about. So we got two wires going over to the data link connector. So the 3Q goes to 20 and then 4E to 21 on data link connector section U. So I got that diagram in here. So we are going to follow. I need to know which one goes to, again, this is in reverse. So like the regular way of the connector will be is backwards. So this is like pin 1 to 8 and then pin 9 to 16. So if I count in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are grounds, and that is going to ground. 6 is not showing anything, and then 7 is K line, right? So I know that if I follow this line, I'm going on to connector pin 20 because the order the 21 doesn't go to the DLC, the regular DLC. This car has two data link connector. Data link connector 1 is a 17 pin, very well used on OBD1 cars in or original manufacturer connectors because this has a lot more information. You can get connectors to other things that you can not do with this one. But for my testing, it's just all I need. So I have a K line connected, and that goes to pin 20. Again, going back to this diagram, 3Q goes to pin or to 20, and then 20 goes to 7. So that's what I'm marking here on my information data, that the 3Q communication goes to 7 in the DLC, and that's exactly how I got it connected. All right, so I have everything ready to go as far as the test. I'm going to activate the fuel pump, the customer's concern, and then now on, and guess what? It's fully working. So yeah, it's time off because it's just the way this works. I'm going to do it again, and it times off by itself. But yeah, it is working 100%. So yeah, sometimes the technician is not really providing the entire test that should be performed on the car. You need to check powers and grounds, activation. You need to make sure that the actual wire to the fuel pump is reaching the computer, because if this control wire is not reaching the relay, again, this is going to a relay. If we see right here on this first diagram that I showed, this is on a schematic, but if we follow here, let me just do this a little small. We have the fuel pump relay and then the computer. And if I go over to the color wire diagrams, which I still got open on Identifix, let me just go right here. Let me close this because I have always my bookmarks ready to go too. As you see, this is exactly what I did. But yeah, if I go over to where the relays are, which are here, right? So we can do a little more zoom, like Erico says, enhance, enhance. I like that. All right. So this is the actual fuel pump. It says rear of the vehicle, fuel pump unit. So we're going to have again the grounds and then a power coming from the fuel pump relay. The power that actually feeds the fuel pump relay is coming from the main relay. So this is also controlled by the computer. If the main relay is not control on, this will not be power on. But if you're not having this one, the computer will not power up either. So this is, it's like a redundancy. The computer will be first ignition. You have a constant battery. If the ignition is not supplied to the computer, you will have no 5-volt reference, and the computer will not power up because it's just in a sleeping mode. So these are tests. As you can see, I have those powers, and it's indeed working because I can see that I have 5-volt reference. Another check that I want probably to do is because we have, let me just see how is this actually working, because it says like it has a constant ground, right? So let's see the activation. Let me deselect all the wires or select all the wires. Yes, I can go back to normal size because I want to just now focus into this wire and see where this wire is coming from. Ignition coil 2. So this is in here. We have to follow because that might be, no, let me see. Oh, yeah, no, it's a constant power. Oh, yeah, so it's like I said, so it's not controlled by the computer. All right, so this is a very now good, that's how you test your wire diagram. So what is controlling the main relay? Not the computer, but it will power up the computer because you see right here, this is hot and run or start right here at the top, right? It has a 15 amp fuse. When this gets power, we will follow this wire in a second, but it will power up the main relay, which has a constant ground behind the right headlamp, and that will close the circuit to provide power to the fuel pump relay. If we follow this other wire, so let me deselect this other one. If we follow that wire, we can see what all is being powered up. Let me just double check that because we have to be careful sometimes. Let me deselect this wire, especially when it has a splice or something. Where are we going? Because you see we have another splice in here, so we can deselect this one and see where this one is going. So we got another one that goes again to the coils, and it's not showing like it's going anywhere close to the computer. So this is not an ignition for the computer, but it provides power to the ignition coils, to the O2 sensors, and then on the other line that we saw before, right here, it supplies power to, let me just follow that one, yeah, to the other O2 sensor. I don't see, at least on these aftermarket or redrawn diagrams, any connection from that ignition feed over to the computer. Although remember, when you're having, and this is very important to find, but I will not suspect that they cut that in here. When you have a dotted line around any box, that means that you're not getting the entire picture. When it's closed lines, that means that is the entire picture. That is all into whatever these two lines are coming. But when you have this, I mean, and again, this is just a fuse. They're not showing you the entire fuse box or fuse block. So this is just what they're trying to show you here and telling you that there is something else in there. Same thing is in here. It might be more wires in this connector, but I don't see this power going into anything else because otherwise they will have to show you that here. So, but again, so if we have everything for this computer to work. I'm doing this and showing a lot because I want to also try to help the customer and guide them on how to do and perform the tests in the vehicle. So I'm going to get off of here. So I'm going to show you the entire, it's going to take a little longer onto this vehicle because it's a little oldie again. I'm going to exit. This will not read the VIN. So let me just stop in here because again, this is an oldie. As we know, the VIN numbers are not read by the computer or on from the computer. You need to have auto modules, instrument cluster, and so on. That will be the one provided in the VIN, and then you can do an auto ID. So since I cannot do that, let me just skip that because otherwise I will have to just enter the VIN again. But then when I'm here, I'm just going to quick access. Let's say I just type the um, VIN, and then now the scanner knows exactly by the VIN, the code in the VIN, that I'm working on a Mazda Miata MX-5 Special Edition. All right, is ignition on? Yes, it is. And now as you can see, it knows that it's two different sockets, a 16 pin or a 17 pin. I'm using the 16 pin. So I'm going to show that I'm using a 16 pin and I'm talking on the K line because I will tell the scanner how to talk to the computer. But yeah, this computer is fully capable of diagnostics. You can see data bits, which I haven't shown and I'm going to show. But I also want to show that we can indeed communicate. You can see K line. So I'm going to enter the PCM. And I'm going to do the same test again. So you go over to actuation tests. That's going to populate a new menu where we can select different actuations. And I mean, carbon, this is something you can do with pretty much any scanner. that is, not a basic code reader, but if you have a good scanner, you can just connect to the car. Again, you got two different ways to do it, right in the front of the car with a 17-pin connector or on the OBD port. If you have no communication on the OBD port, I will tell you that just check, make sure you got powers and grounds, power on pin 16, grounds on pin 4 and 5, and then make sure that you got communication established on pin 7. Okay, so in here we're going again, as you can see, we got a nice list of tests that can be performed on the car. You can actuate the injectors, you can actuate the fuel pump, etc. Right? All right, but our customer concern, no fuel pump actuation. So this is what I went to. Just going to go back a little bit so you guys can see the light when I'm doing that. At the same time, I am turning this on, and as you can see, the light is on. So there is nothing wrong with this pump, nothing wrong with this computer being able to actuate or not this fuel pump. We can go back in here and let's go over to data, read data screen, see, because, I haven't even go there, but yeah, we have, plenty of data, throttle position voltage, etc. So this is short-term fuel trims, master flow sensor, long-term, intake air manifold. I mean, this is a very capable computer. So we got a lot of, we got even fuel pump activation if we are seeing a no start condition. I'm not sure if he has anything about the um, immobilizer in here. Let me just see. Another trouble codes. We can see how many trouble codes we already saw them, but just so I'm trying to look for maybe a battery voltage or something with the immobilizer. So just bear with me a little bit in here. Motor voltage supply. They name it very different from manufacturer to manufacturer. Nothing on the anti-theft. So I cannot see that in here. So you will have to enter completely on the anti-theft part of the car to see if it's any faults on there that are preventing the vehicle from a start. Because if you have a wrong, a bad key, and it will not allow the fuel pump to come on. I mean, I'm not sure how the strategy on this manufacturer is. Um, this is Japan made, so this is still when Mazda was Mazda and not a Ford, now sell as a Mazda in United States. But let me just change now the battery voltage. So I'm going to go down into my, I'm going to go back 1 volt down, and we can see now that we have 12.7. I'm going to go 1 volt up, and we got now 13.6. So the scanner is in communication. We know that because we can activate the fuel pump and everything's working 100%. I hope that you guys value and appreciate all the data, all the tests that I'm trying to show on how to gather the information on wire diagrams, connector pinouts, tests you can do. Because yeah, this might be for me to check the computer in here, but well, if you have or you suspect your computer is not working, this is exactly what you need to do in the vehicle. Connect yourself a multimeter. I'm using very basic testing equipment. Yes, a scanner is necessary. I'm sorry, but if you don't have a scanner, you will not be able to perform these tests. You are suspecting a computer, you need to have a scanner. Because if you are condemning a computer, you need to know, you need to check logic, make sure that you got communication. If you don't have communication, then you can use, um, in this case, a little hard to do without, an oscilloscope. Can let me just put the oscilloscope so we can see how the K line looks on this module. I'll be right back, okay? All right, guys. As always, to try to show you as much as information as I can and share with you, I connected my oscilloscope over to K line. So I'm using one of the grounds on the actual module, and then K line on the back end, where I can just, use a special probe that is protected and is isolated, so I don't short anything in there. And then we can see the communication, which is, let me just see because it looks like the trigger is now not picking it up. Let me just make sure that I can get the scanner here because I move it around. So give me 1 second. I want to show that this is when you establish communication. I guess in my case, I don't have nothing else in here. So again, fiber references there. That's the way the K-line communication with the scanner looks. We can change the time base a little bit. So I'm going deep in so we can see a little more of those packages because what you see in there as the lines are actually package of information being shared in between the scanner and the actual computer, right? Let me just move this in here. But yeah, we can start to see that we have that very nice and very good signal. I'm trying to move the trigger so where we can see more. Come on. But yeah, so I can stop that and we can, let me see, run, trying to move it to where we can see and stop it at the right moment. Come on. Okay, right here. Let's see if I can see more of this right there. The next one, I think. Come on. Yeah, it's right there. All right, so we can see I have cursors in here, so I can move the cursor. This is a touch screen, very capable oscilloscope. This is the Rode Air RTH 1004. It's a very expensive oscilloscope. It's very handy because it's handheld, so you can use it anywhere. I can take it with me and do tests in vehicles or use it here in the lab. This is a very, very capable oscilloscope. Each channel is also isolated. It's a 4-channel oscilloscope and up to 500 volts, so this is very capable. All right, so I want to stop the communication, like get off of here. So let me run this again. So you see when I'm out of the data bits, there is nothing going on in there. So it's in recessive mode, and this is high, so it's around 12.83 volts. When I enter again to see the data, is when we start seeing those packages to be established. Obviously, with the vehicle running, you will see that because it's establishing communication in between other modules and everything. But again, this is K line. This is not the communication in between this, like any let me just rephrase that. This is not the sensor values not being reported to the computer. This is the scanner requesting that data from the ECU or PCM to the scanner. And we will see that in here. Same thing is if I go over to the, again, actuate and test, and I go over to the fuel pump, you see, immediately as soon as we enter that, the scanner is okay. I'm trying to perform a test, so get ready for it. So it's plenty of communication, and then when I send this to on, the message right now the fuel pump is on again. It sends a message from the scanner commanding that computer to turn the fuel pump on, and that's how it works. So this is how a normal K line, active K line should work, should see or should look. So again, trying to share as much as information with you guys. I hope guys that you understand and like this content. There is a lot for do it yourself, for real technicians in the world that they can use all these techniques in vehicles. Same thing for a person that cannot reach a shop because you're 4 or 5 hours away. You want to do all these tests. Yes, you need some equipment. You don't need this fancy, very expensive oscilloscope. There are oscilloscope very, very affordable. Let me just look for one and handheld, and this is the same um, search you can do oscilloscope. So when we're in there, you guys, you can even get one for $125 on Amazon. I mean, this is the cheapest you can get. This is a 2-channel oscilloscope, but yes, you can see exactly what I'm looking at in here. So Do you want to work in your car? You're gonna have to get some tools that you can see, that I can see, because let's say, you're working in your car, you need help, you can contact me through my email, through my website, on my YouTube channel, etc., on my website, sorry. Either way, right? And then you can take a picture and send it to me. And then I said, well, that line looks perfect. You can compare at least a picture of what I'm showing you in here, because you can see the values. The lower cursor on this one, again, is in 1.2 volts, and cursor 2 is in 12.83. So starting 1 volts up to battery voltage, around battery voltage, right? So we can see that that K line, an active K line, should look like that. And the rest, you can use just a multimeter. Again, you don't need to buy a super expensive multimeter. There, again, multimeters, again, the best equipment, the better equipment. For a technician, I recommend to get yourself something good. You're going to use this for a very long time, so you don't want to be buying non-expensive things. Uh, as far as a do-it-yourself, or, if you don't want to spend too much money, this same handheld oscilloscope is multimeter. So as you can see, you got voltage, you got common milliamps and amps. So you can check all that with this one, and you will have even a graphing meter. And then the oscilloscope ports are in the tab. So look for this one, Handmatic oscilloscope. I don't sell it. I don't. You have it. I don't use it, but it has very good 5 stars. So I mean, do your own homework when you're going to buy tools. But yes, you will be able to see everything that I'm seeing in here with that. Same thing. You don't have to buy a Phoenix Max to buy, to do this test. You can, if you have an sorry, on a scanner that can do bidirectional controls, get it. Make sure it covers your manufacturer, and then you can do the same test on the vehicle. All right, guys, this is already over 30 minutes long video. I hope that you like the content. Don't forget to subscribe. Help me guys out to share my content, like, subscribe, and that will increase the way others can see my channel. Views are going down. I know that some people are looking for different I don't know, content. But if you want this channel to stay alive and everything, you have to subscribe. You have to share my videos. You have to please put comments, so I understand that you do like the content you're seeing, and I can move forward. This is also a time that I take to help customers and others in the world. All right, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.